Hey everybody, it's Jillian. So I just want to discuss pretty quickly here about this testimony with biochemical triage, healing symptoms, somebody that had sustained some kind of cancer, went through the chemotherapy, survived the chemotherapy because she had enough reserves to be able to handle that healing process, the protocol. Because when you're taking on chemotherapy, you're taking on a massive amount of negative elements to stop the cancer programming. And so what that also does, it weakens all parts of your body. Okay, so if a person who went through that kind of aggressive chemotherapy and they didn't have a lot of reserves, some people would pass away, but they probably wouldn't do chemotherapy if they saw that you really couldn't handle it. You're like too weak and too deficient. So they saw that she was strong enough to handle the chemotherapy, so that's why they administered it to her. But let's say there are some people that will do chemotherapy and they'll survive it, but maybe in the next 5 years or maybe 10 years or less than that, they then encounter another cancer virus. Hey, Gloria. Okay. So after her chemotherapy, yeah, she was rolling the dice. Okay. Because really, when you think about it, when people go through chemotherapy or cannabis or any of those types of aggressive protocols, their diets kind of change, but not really. Because you still have the biochemistry that makes you crave certain foods. Yeah, you may mitigate certain foods because you feel really guilty if you're going to eat McDonald's every day, so you stay away from McDonald's, but you eat a higher end processed food, but really it's not really that different. Okay, so it's always questionable if someone really is going to have 5 or 10 years after they sustain chemotherapy and or cannabis and live to tell about it. Now, some have light chemotherapy, but their cancer was like stage 1, or there was just a few anomalous cells that they want to go and just take out or do some kind of radiation or something to get rid of them. Okay, and that's why some people live like 10, 15 years after they had chemotherapy. So it all depends on what you bring to the table. And those that have a highly mineralized bones, strong bones and strong everything, but have issues and the medical system does apply chemotherapy, they'll be able to live and tell about it for many years afterwards, but their bodies are still degrading. So anyways, this young lady, she started a protocol, I don't know, a couple months ago, maybe less than a month or 2 months ago, I forget exactly. Had a cancer, went through the chemotherapy, started this protocol, and aggressive. She travels a lot. She does eat off the diet. I know that, and that's what happens sometimes. But she is experiencing healing symptoms, and they are reminiscent of some of the symptoms back when she had cancer. Okay, and so what she did was, so this actually, her feedback was also testing me, because people don't always give their feedback in a way that I want them to give it, to where it doesn't scare everybody else. So I think, so I've come a long way when it comes to responding to people's healing symptoms or their biochemical triage symptoms. And a couple of years ago, I would have deleted that post, because this is what she posted, so you guys understand where I'm coming from. 2 years ago, I would have probably deleted this and kicked her out of the group. Because, I want everyone to be able to articulate the J juice in a specific way. And not everybody thinks about that, because they have their own stuff going. And I have all these expectations that don't always get met. And it's not their fault. It's the way in which I process and understand what goes on in their world. So this is what she wrote. She wrote, serious symptoms, healing since early this morning, chest feeling very tight, will visit ER after I get home. Now, when you just read that statement, oh my gosh, I can just imagine all of my naysayers going like, oh my God, Jillian's just created somebody to go to the ER, you know, and I could just see them all just taking this post and running with it. But I don't care, because I know anybody can characterize anything because they don't know really what followed up to it. They don't know anything, you know, really. You just take a flat statement and then you inject and insert your take on it. So anyways, so then I'm like, okay, let me see. Okay. So anyways, so then you know, I'm just like, oh my God, anybody reading this is gonna, but I'm not trying to react. And I said, hey, Hugs, hang in there. Cause I'm not trying to react and be like, oh my God, don't scare everybody, to say it, it's healing. Jay just didn't cause it, you know, but I didn't say that. And then Kathy said her stuff. Jamie said her stuff. And I'm like, healing can be scary for those people not familiar with strong healing. And yes, do what you have to do to make yourself feel better, even mentally, if you feel like you need a backup. And then I really wanted to make sure anyone that was just passing by, any new person was just passing by, and they read this and they're like, oh my God, you know, she took the J juice and now she has to go to the ER. I want to reinforce and say that it wasn't the J juice that caused her to go to the ER. She's healing. She's taking in nutrition. She's healing. She brought to the table a lot of issues. Okay. Every single person, and they do the J juice, hey, Valerie, brings to the table a lot of issues. Okay. And so when you're doing the J juice, you're going to experience biochemical triage. You're bringing in the minerals that is going to then deal with your weaknesses. So I've said the J juice can take care of past issues, present issues, and then future triggers. Well, what she decided to do was she didn't need to go to the ER right then and there, but she wanted to wait until after her shift was done. Her husband would take her, and then through a few comments and a few just, you know, prodding and probing to figure out what was going on, she was instructed that anything that feels anomalous to please make an appointment to go to the hospital or the ER. And so she's just following her doctor's orders, which is what we want you to do if you're under a doctor's care. So she went and made the appointment. They did an EKG, they did the blood test and everything, and everything came out normal. Her EKG is normal, her blood tests are normal, she's going to be fine. But she went through a healing. So the healing is a manifestation. It's a feeling. It's like the hormones, the prostaglandin hormone that's trying to heal the body. And when you get blood tests done and EKG, it will show if there's anything anomalous going on. And nothing anomalous was going on. Okay? But the sensation, she was feeling unsettled. And she did have a post back in 2014 where she did feel her chest feel tight. And now she's going through a healing process with now finally bringing in reserves, bringing in minerals to now fix that weakness. She experienced something that she experienced before, but under a different context. And so she's not giving up this protocol. Hell no. But you know, when you are under a doctor's care, when you are dealing with some major issues like cancer, where you went through chemotherapy, anything that would seem like a reminder of what you went through back when you were dealing with stuff, it's going to be a little jolting. And some people will ride it out, but others, you know, want to make sure and want to get confirmation. So then they go and get the test done. Now, in my conspiracy world, back when I was on Dr. Phil, okay, I'm like going, well, they'll just tell you whatever they got to tell you. Oh, I don't trust the doctors. I mean, oh my God, I was in a total different world back when I was on Dr. Phil, because I didn't really have a real succinct, substantiated explanation for why a person doesn't need to get tested. So, you know, I filled in the blanks of where I felt like I needed to justify why you shouldn't go to the doctor. You should just do the JJs and just deal with it. But some people want confirmation. And so now I don't have the fear really anymore when you do go to the doctor, because they're going to do all these tests. They're going to test all of your biochemical levels to see if they're out of whack, because they have a set, like they have a platform or a benchmark that what a regular normal person in that situation would then exemplify as far as the test results. So if you're doing J juice, you're going to come up basically pretty normal on all your tests. Now, if you go get virus tested, okay, and you have, like, let's say herpes or any kind of viruses in your background, and now you're feeling a healing symptom, and some of those viruses that say you have the skin issues come to surface, yeah, you're probably going to test positive for whatever herpes that is flaring up at that point in time. But if it's just the body trying to heal a heart or different parts of your system and organs, trying to heal the weaknesses from the past trauma of going through the chemotherapy and your cancer, it's not really gonna, your blood levels and all of your different secretions and things are gonna probably come out pretty normal. And her EKG was normal and her blood was normal. Okay? So really, truly, it's just the healing process that some people have a difficulty with. And they just want to make sure that everything is okay. But, yeah, if you have herpes, or if you have any type of like HPV where you have things that come to the surface, or you have any other type of I don't know, skin condition that is connected to some virus, and you go to get tested for that virus, yeah, it's going to come to surface, and yeah, you'll probably test positive for it. But it doesn't mean that you're going to die. It just means that it's coming to surface. I mean, anyone that has like psoriasis and eczema has some kind of herpes virus. Herpes simplex this, herpes simplex that. It's pretty prevalent. Herpes and HPV and all these different viruses are prevalent. It's a matter of, is it going to cause you degradation and crappy anomalies in your body, or is it going to then make you stronger? Because I tell you what, I've been exposed to herpes out there, and it's actually made me stronger. Have I ever had an outbreak of herpes? No, but I know I've been exposed to it, because how can you not be exposed? People can be asymptomatic, and you have sex with different people, whether it's one person or 50, these viruses are so rampant. There is no possible way that when somebody is enjoying their community for the last 40 something years, you're not going to be exposed to some kind of virus. Even just kissing, okay, somebody that has an outbreak, it could potentially. So we all have these exposures, and of course getting the vaccines gives you other viruses too, and then also being exposed in your environment has other types of exposure. So it's no big deal. Viruses are viruses. It is what it is. They will either tear you down or make you stronger. And on a weak body, it'll tear you down. On a strong body, it'll make you stronger. Okay? So when you're on the J juice, you're not gonna have to worry about viruses. Oh God, I mean, you're not gonna worry about the AIDS virus. You're not gonna worry about the Ebola virus. You're not gonna worry about any viruses that are out there that on a weak body would destroy. But those of you who are weak and you're afraid of vaccines and you're not doing the J juice and there's rampant viruses out there, you should be very afraid. So that's why you don't ever give up doing J juice, because you're going to be exposed to viruses regardless, and you got to heal from past traumas. All of you guys have so much trauma in your body from past, present, and future stuff that if you don't do something about it today, it's going to bite you in the ass, because again, the data out there, the universe, the messages being sent from the universe in the ether, let me get abstract for some of you who understand the abstract, the messages are only going to get stronger. And if your body is still that weak, even though, yeah, you may have an aggressive, full personality that says, I exude strength, but your body is degrading, but you're trying to exude all this strength, whether it's by building your muscles or being so aggressive that nobody can touch you, nobody can penetrate your force field, your body is going to let you know really, truly what the truth is. And the truth is, most of you have very weak bodies that will succumb to some aggressive message from the universe. And so thank God that Anne and myself, thank God I didn't delete the post, because I'm thinking like, oh my God, this is going to scare everybody. Because yeah, the way you read it, it's like, holy crap, this person's going to scare everybody. But no, she's just saying what is going on. And I'm looking at her posts anyways. And when you actually follow her timeline, and I've been watching you, Anne, okay? You definitely let everybody know what is going on. And it's good, because actually the way in which you have annotated your journey through your cancer, it's only going to be a reference while you're doing the healing process with J-Juice. It's only going to confirm everything that I've been saying. So in a lot of ways, your verboseness, your verbosity, if there's such a word to say it, your continuous communication of what is going on is only going to help you and help the protocol and help the people that are watching you. Okay? And I know you're not doing all of the diet. I know that. So the fact that you're still healing and you're still going through your stuff and now you're not doing the diet perfectly, I get it. But that's okay. And you're still healing in the process says a lot. Okay? Now, what if you stayed on the diet 100% and you made time for yourself, which you are, okay? Imagine how much more healing. And yeah, you're going to be tired. I'll tell you what, I was sleeping a lot when I was going through the healing process. And sometimes you just have to make time. Sometimes you just don't have a choice, but you have to be up and awake. Some people don't have the luxury to just sleep for a couple weeks, okay? So I get it. You have to balance out your responsibilities as well as healing. But definitely when, push comes to shove, you need to just rest. And you made that choice today. Good. Just rest. Your body needs rest. And then just chill out and then resume and just keep going, because this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. This is not something that's like a cure that's going to have you turn into like Cindy Crawford tomorrow. But you keep doing the J-Juice in a committed manner where you have a routine. Just apply it to a routine. This is not something you just do like for 1 week and then say, hey, I'm done, I can't do it, or I'll just do it like next year, because then the universe is still going. You're still going to slide back to old routines and old foods and old things that you used to do that caused you to be where you are to begin with. So if you can create a habit out of J-Juice in some way, whether it's just 1 day out of the week where you do major waterfalls, and then if you are really a busy person, okay, try to stick to the diet as much as you can, but have at least 1 or twice a week where you're doing major waterfalls. If you can't drink it every day. Not everybody can drink it every day. But what you want to do is you want to get rid of the excess programming that's causing your issues. You're still taking in programming that your body really can't handle. So it's not only, accumulating that stuff you're doing daily, but then you also have stuff from the years past that you have to get rid of, but you haven't yet. And so it's like that how would you say it? I don't know. How much you're releasing and how much you're taking in, and then how much, and that's really contingent upon the J-Juice. If you can get rid of as much as you can and take in the right programming, go through the healing process, but it all is relative to your schedule. So if once a week is fine, then have a clean diet. And that's why the diet is there, because it tells you it needs to be bland. It can't be so flavorful. Try to knock off the garlic. I did read that post there, Miss Ann. Garlic is great, but give your body a chance to just, because you're already over mineralized, and garlic has a lot of minerals in it. It's very, very pungent. So if you can lay off the spices and just keep a bland diet, you don't have to drink the J-Juice every day, but if you keep a bland diet during the week and then do the waterfalls once a week, you could really make this a bit easier for yourself and your schedule. Yeah, you may have healing symptoms that are going to bleed over in between your waterfalls, but that's to be expected. You don't know when you're going to heal or what you're going to heal, because the body is going to do the biochemical triage and figure out what takes most priority. And you can't really control that, okay? So, it's a matter of just understanding that you got to control the minerals that you're taking in your body, and the J-Juice has the right chemical process. It has the right, it has the right chemistry. And You just have to relax and let your body do what it needs to do, and try to chill out from the activism and the high octane lifestyle so you can rest. Stop with all the marathons and all the exercise regimes and the activism. Because let me tell you, no matter how